Hey, thanks for watching today. We're sneaking in our second tax investing news video for the month of October. We're getting it in just before the deadline here. I know it's been about 3 weeks, and we're trying to do these every 2 weeks. But we've been busy. Last week we covered the Birmingham Land Bank Authority reopening, and we had some customers come through town. We got to see some great success stories in Alabama, and some people who had some wonderful commercial buildings and houses that have now turned into deeds. So it's always great to see those abandoned structures get some TLC and some eyes and attention on there to turn those around. So if you're watching this video and you want to skip to different chapters, you can do that at the bottom of the video. We put a chapter marker at each state and some of the other sections of the video. Again, we're going to cover a new state today, and let's jump right in and talk about our market totals, what we've added since the last tax investing news video. So there are 49,000 properties that were added roughly. 37,000 about were tax liens, so about 3/4 of those. Almost 10,000 tax deeds added, 9,478. Almost 2,000 foreclosure properties added, and 580 land bank. That's because I mentioned the Birmingham Land Bank Authority is reopened. We made a video on that last week covering that, so that's a exciting development in Alabama. And the market totals, if we break it down by state, let's talk about foreclosures first. Florida has the lion's share as usual with over 800. Colorado had over 400. Pennsylvania 249. North Carolina and Indiana, South Carolina, Washington carry the rest for a total of 1,884 properties that are in foreclosure auctions coming up. Over the counters, Florida had the most, but this is another one of those over the counter stories where an inventory disappeared and then reappeared. I believe it was the Marion, Florida tax liens went offline and came back after a while, so they may not be net new additions, but they are back if you had missed them when they disappeared. Mississippi is an exciting story. 755 tax deeds added to OTC inventory. Alabama, the 484, we're just counting the land bank there, the additions there, so that's most of what you see, maybe a few other tax deeds in that mix. Arkansas is another exciting story. 390 leftover tax deeds have been added to the roll. Colorado had 210 tax liens added. This was a similar story to Florida. An inventory had disappeared. I don't remember which county, but we found the new source and added it back. So 210 Colorado liens showed up. 108 in Tennessee. That's the Shelby, Tennessee land bank. That's the Memphis area. We count the land bank as an over-the-counter inventory, and 108 new properties showed up. And then Maryland and Arizona managed to bring in one property each. Just those would be tax liens over-the-counter in both states for 3,610 over-the-counter properties added. And of course, the auction table is getting so big, it barely fits. Colorado and South Carolina took just so many properties added, 25,000 plus in Colorado. That season is heated up. We'll be talking about it soon. South Carolina had some additions. Those are getting announced, a few auctions every week. And so almost 10,000 added for South Carolina. New Jersey's just been steadily adding auctions, about 3,000 new tax liens added. Florida, 1,506 tax deeds added. That calendar stretches well into 2025 now, so they're quite scattered. Texas, 902 auction properties added. We've added a lot of counties there. We'll talk about that. New Mexico, 719. This seems to be their peak of their year in October, so a lot of those properties added now. Ohio, 607 tax auction, and that's a mixture of foreclosures. We don't really have a great way of teasing the foreclosures out, so we count it all as just tax auction. Georgia, 372. That's our newest state. That's across 4 auctions we just added, so you'll be seeing more about Georgia in this video. Washington, 226. Pennsylvania, 212. California, 200. 3 of our newest states right there in a row, all with about 200 each. And then we kind of spill into the lower ranks here. We have North Carolina is sort of an annual auction season year-round. Michigan had 132 added for their, what are they called, the no reserve auctions coming up. Indiana is closing out their tax auction season with 99 properties added. Tennessee, 86 properties added to tax auctions. And then at the end, we have Louisiana and Virginia closing out the list. By the way, that was 43,539 tax auction properties added across all of those states. This is a good time to talk about our auction calendar and show you that in a picture here in a second, but just to say, we're going to hit 10,000 auctions this year in 2024, which is a huge milestone for Parcel Fair. We're at 9,662 auctions tracked so far. I think we're going to exceed 10,000 by a mile. It's going to have plenty. We do add daily and change auctions daily, remove the ones that are redeemed and add ones that are added. And right now we have 1,539 upcoming auctions that are in the future on the calendar. And again, some of those stretch into 2025. So on our consolidated calendar here, no, I've not added Georgia to this yet. We are going to have to break this calendar into 2 screens, I believe. But you can see on the right side, we've highlighted October because we've got a few more days. And then, of course, November is what we're looking forward to. And just reading down the screen inside of that, we're closing out some of the Indiana lien sales. Those actually spill into November. And Indiana's foreclosures go year-round. So do, next up, Florida's deed and foreclosures. That's a year-round season. So those are included in October, November. Same as Pennsylvania. Right now we have sheriff sales, technically. And, sheriff sales, sorry. South Carolina and Colorado are coming up with lien auctions. And some of those are spilling into December now, even. Colorado also has foreclosures year-round. And then the rest below Colorado, New Jersey, Louisiana, California, New Mexico, North Carolina, Ohio, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, Washington, and then now Georgia. Those are year-round markets. So those are states where you can shop throughout the year at auction. On that note, let's talk about Georgia. I know there's a backstory for Georgia. It's probably our highest requested state since Texas. And I've told a lot of people no about Georgia. And it's for no other reason than their auctions are a bit scattered. They all use different formats. There's 150-ish counties in a state that's rather small, so the counties are small. The auctions can be small, and it is a lot of work to track these. But we're finally at a place where we think we can get a good representation of Georgia. And so we started off with, it's our newest state, and we put 4 county auctions at our available research. We picked 4 that are happening in November, and we picked 4 counties that probably have some high level of interest. They're all in-person auctions, and 3 of them are in the metro Atlanta area, and then 1 is basically Savannah. So Chatham is Savannah area, then Cobb, DeKalb, and Fulton are Atlanta or metro Atlanta, basically. So those auctions happen on November 5th. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, I believe that's Election Day. I don't know how they managed to schedule tax auctions on Election Day, especially in a swing state, but they did. So I guess the tax investors won't be voting, or they'll just have to go afterwards and buy their tax deeds and then move on to vote later in the day. So all that, we're not going to talk politics. We're just going to move on. That's all I'll say about the elections. So November 5th, Fulton, Chatham, DeKalb, and Cobb. You can see that Fulton is the largest of the sales. That is basically Atlanta. 187 parcels there, 78 in Chatham, which is Savannah, 64 in DeKalb, 41 in Cobb. And I went ahead and just opened up the map ahead of time. All 370 parcels in these 4 auctions on the screen. We'll start in Savannah since it's kind of the outlier. Of course, Savannah's coastal area, beautiful coastline area. And we're going to see properties like this one. This is a house a little bit inland and looks really nice for a tax deed property, if you ask me. Anytime, I know a lot of investors, if they see a brick house, they immediately put it at the top of their list. Sometimes they can withstand weather better, or just in general be in better shape, have better value. So this one is valued at $187 from the county, $187,000, and occupied. Actually, I'm in the wrong county. I clicked on Fulton. So, that was. Let's talk about this house in Fulton County then. So, we'll look at Savannah second. But if you want to see more about that auction, you would click on our purchase options here. One interesting thing about the Fulton County, let's see if this. Let's go to the auction list. They did not include an opening bid price. And when I told you at the beginning of this segment how how Georgia's difficult, this is one of the reasons why. These PDFs are formatted strange, and you'll notice if you try to search these, a lot of the words are kind of chopped up, and it takes a lot of work to piece these back together into something that you can actually research. They put odd spaces at different places, and a lot of these certificate or what are these numbers called? A lot of these sheriff sale numbers have just random line breaks that don't show up on the screen, but it prevents you from, like, if you wanted to copy this into a different kind of file, you're going to get a lot of odd formatting problems. So anyways, we tried to handle that for you, like we always do in Parcel Fair. Do that work so you don't have to. Let's check out the auction info. Here's the Fulton County page that tells us all about it. There's a registration link right here. So everything you need to get to that auction is in your purchase options pop-up here. And if you want to research this property further, we do have Fulton County links in our research links section. The property card will take you to the property card for this exact property, which is great. And there's a brief property card, which is kind of an extra thing. And then the GIS map for Fulton County, if you want to go check out their maps. All right, so I guess before we leave at least the Metro Atlanta area, I did have the county lines drawn out. So this triangular county is Fulton. Over to the north west is Cobb County. This is actually where I grew up. It's a nice place. I liked it. And Cobb County has fewer properties. Let's see, 41. But let's go satellite view and see what this looks like. Yeah, so it's like a wooded area right here. And it's 3 acres, $111,000. And they did post a opening bid, unlike Fulton County, of $3,400. So, and then in Cobb County, of course, you can click on this purchase option and go to the registration page or the auction info here. And as you can see, this is another PDF that you can't even copy the contents out of this PDF, and you can't search in it either. It's absolutely hard-coded. So we took care of that for you and pulled this PDF onto this map. So that's hopefully a big time saver for you if you're researching Cobb County. And let's see, one more thing. We do have property cards here that will take you to the actual property on the county site, just like in Atlanta, in Fulton. So that's another time saver if you want to read more about these properties. Let's check out one more, I guess, while we're here. And let's go look at this house. So yeah, this is another brick house. Looks very nice for a tax property to me. Opening bid $8,600, total valuation $300. So this could be a very interesting, like if I were researching tax properties and going to these auctions, I would take this one seriously. Again, you go to the property card and find out more about it, and read some of the county notes about it. But in general, I mean, like, this is Smyrna, Georgia. I know the area. It's very close to where I grew up. And Cobb County, I think the market there is one you should take seriously. If you can get to the auctions there that are in person, I can't speak to how competitive they'll be. Anecdotally, I've heard that they are competitive. But, I recommend checking it out. And, anytime we talk about 41 parcels in a county, I like to just do this trick over here on the right. Let's view the results on a grid instead of on the map. And let's just sort by the total value and get the most expensive property to the top. You can see there's $1 million property. We can sort by acreage if you're looking for that. There's a 4.8 acre property. Let's go look at that one. Okay, so it's $511,000, Powder Springs, Georgia. Almost 5 acres of this triangle, and it appears to have some improvements, $155,000 on a structure there. So another property could be worth looking at. Again, I don't know how competitive these auctions will be, but the supply of properties actually look to be pretty strong. I think a note about Georgia as well is that their tax season runs throughout the year. It reminded me of Texas, both the interest rates, the laws, and how it works, but also in the way they schedule. They try to get all the auctions on the same day each month, and then counties opt into it if they have a supply of properties that need to go to auction. All right, so I tried to start with Savannah, but we're going to end with it instead. So here's Savannah. We'll actually look at the properties in Savannah this time. So zooming in with our satellite view, it's laid out like a grid. It's one of those cities that was planned well, and there's a park in the middle here, and there's a house one block right off, or basically a block off of the park. And I spoke too soon. This is actually looking at the satellite closer. This is the area between two houses. So it's still valued very high, and so could be something worth looking at. Let's zoom in there. Yeah, it's between some nice looking residences. But let's go check out another one here. This one's looks like it has a building worth $1 million. The building's about 800 grand. The land's about 200. And this looks commercial to me. It does not say in the description. But if we wanted to go bid on this, this is also an in-person auction on November 5th. You can click here to register or go to the info or the list using these links. Let's see what this list looks like. I think this is, that's actually a downloadable PDF over here. So yeah, this is another PDF. This one was not as bad as Fulton or Cobb's as far as how it looked. And their site here, this is where, when I click the auction info link, this shows you where the auctions are announced, and you can look whenever they schedule the next one. It'll be here as well. So that's where we'll be watching for the next auction is to be scheduled. And so I don't know what else to say about Chatham County, Savannah. It's again, it's coastal. It's near the water. It looks like a lot of the properties are more inland. Yeah, I guess we have one coastal. Oh wow, that's a. I don't know what that is. It's a long stretch of land, swamp, that covers 2 acres, and the value is $10. That may be the most interesting property I've seen this week. A $10 strip. This one would probably be something to look at. It says that it's lots 92A, 91A. Yeah, we'll go check out the property card and see if it gives us any more information at the county. Yeah, they're going to make a search for it. I won't waste your time doing that today. So there's so many rabbit holes in tax investing you can go down, but this is one that, maybe there's a strategy for this. I have no idea what that would be, though. So one coastal property, everything else looks more inland. And lastly, on Georgia, I believe we'll be adding some, of course, more auctions, but we'll be adding some land banks as well. So that would be your over-the-counter avenue for Georgia. So much more to come on Georgia. Keep an eye out for more auctions, and we'll probably get a focused video just on Georgia that goes deeper than this one about the rules and how the interest rates work. It's very, looks investor-friendly, so I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, Colorado, the largest season we have running right now. We have 40 auctions that are loaded and ready for you to look at. OTC liens are also available for purchase directly from the counties. And if that's not enough, we also have foreclosure auctions. There were 19 in October, 11 more coming up in November so far. And we do have an off-season investing video, but we have an auction season investing video also, which is a good time to show you. This is our Parcel Fair channel. This is probably where you came to find us today if you didn't find us in the search. But on this page, you can see our latest videos, like the Birmingham Land Bank last week and Colorado a couple weeks ago. But one thing that we spent some time trying to organize these for you is this playlist tab. We have 104 videos now, and we've organized them by state and by topic. So all the tax investing news are in one playlist. Each of the different states are in different playlists. And if you want to get down to like the auction calendar or Parcel Fair, some of those that aren't state specific are here at the bottom. So just a time saver if you're looking for stuff. And to my example, we're talking about Colorado. Let's go check out the Colorado full playlist. So there are 3 videos now. In fact, I'm going to just scoot this one to the top for you. There was a 2023 tax lien auction update, and there's also a 2024 preview for the tax lien auction season. But in the middle, we made a Colorado off-season investing video. So you can learn a lot about this current auction season and future ones, as well as the off-season investing in OTC if you watch this middle video. So these news videos, they don't give you that level of detail as some of those focus videos. So you want to check those out. In Colorado, we'll see the foreclosures. I mentioned there are 19 and then 11. And some of these, it looks like these are scheduled out into 2025 all the way into March. So we have months of foreclosure auctions coming up, but the tax lien auction season is much shorter. We have 8 of those in October, which there are, 5 remaining. So let's see, 1 today, and then 1 Wednesday, and then we have 3 on Thursday. And then moving into November, this is where the real bulk of these sales hits. And these are not small auctions. Some of these can be very beefy. We're looking at like Adams County, 1,400 properties. Pueblo, 3,600. Denver County, 3,481. And a lot of these auctions exceed 1,000 properties for tax lien sales. So you should have a great variety, depending on your strategy, to look at quite a few tax liens. I know we covered this in the auction video, but for Colorado, the interest rate this year is 15%, so it's a nice rate. So it could be something worth shopping in. And let's also, I think most of these are online. Yeah, these are online auctions. The ones we're tracking on this screen, at least. So, yeah, check out Colorado. There's a lot to look at. And while we're here, I will just let's just throw Adams County on the map so you can see one county at least. So there you go. It's let's throw the county borders on here. This is one of the strangest shaped counties I've ever seen. It has, it's because it surrounds part of, it looks like Denver was cut out of it. So we're looking at basically a metro Denver suburban area, and quite a few properties to check out here. I see water. Let's go look at what's on the water. Here's a $1 million broken shovel farm. It's some type of, it looks like the Google Street View couldn't get close enough, so they got that house. It must be behind it or something. But this is just an example of properties. This one happens to be on Real Auction. You can click here to register or click here to see the list on Real Auction. And other than that, we do have a property card link on the research links. That was under the satellite image in case I moved too fast. These research links really help you out going further if you want to know more. But this is, again, a property card where we can look at different aspects that the county has decided to track, a tax summary, building summary. So a lot to look at for any property if you want to dig in deeper. Those research links are helpful. And this is a $6,000 lien. You could tie up $6,000 at decent interest rate if you can get the decent interest rate. So that's Colorado, and we'll move on and talk about the next fall auction season in South Carolina. Is also pretty heavy. It's coming up. I mean, I think Colorado's sort of running earlier than South Carolina, but we have the first 10 county auctions to research in South Carolina. They are larger counties and have more properties in general. Side note, we have foreclosures in South Carolina too. So let me open up the calendar, and if you're looking at all auctions, there's quite a few coming up. But we have this filter that you can look at tax auctions only if you want to see just those tax lien auctions. 4 of those already completed. Beaufort, as always, seems to be the first one as long as we've been tracking. It's a coastal area. Then Florence, Pickens, and Anderson have already completed. Today was York, which 546 parcels. But into next week, some big auctions. Richland, 2,700. Charleston, almost 2,000. Horry County, 2,000. So that's in December, actually. But we expect to see more of these auctions showing up in the coming weeks. And we'll keep adding those. Let's just look at Richland while we're here. So that 2,769 properties are on the map. Let's turn on the county borders. I tend to do that a lot when I want to just kind of show you where this is and what we're looking at. Columbia, this is basically the east side of Columbia. And it's just peppered with properties here. There's so much to shop for. But yeah, these are South Carolina tax liens. And they are foreclosable, so you do have a shot at getting the property. But we'll just take a look at the first one here. We have a tax lien available for $1,750. It does have improvements. It is occupied, and the information about the auction is here. It's in person. There's the location and the price, and a link to the auction itself, the Treasurer Tax Sale. There it is. It's such a big sale, they expect it to go on for a couple days. And we do have the property card here today. I'm just showing you every property card, apparently. But again, underneath the GIS map, we have the research links, and there was the property card was the first one. It took me straight to this property's details at the county, where we can read further all the way down to the drywall interior and the carpet and everything. So that's sort of how you would pick into one of these South Carolina auctions. We'll probably do a video covering this year's auction season. We wanted more of the auctions released, but they've been so gradual, it's hard to find a good time to show you a lot at once. And as mentioned, we have the foreclosure auctions. We'll look at those. 34 in October, 29 coming up in November. These are tiny. There's usually one property or two properties in these, so that's just how those work. Indiana, we are coming to the close of our treasurer sales this fall. 92 auctions were advertised that we had available for you to research, and only 7 of those remain. We did make a video covering the season if you want to know more and understand the rules of the fall treasurer sales. They don't work the same as the spring sales, is sort of the spoiler there. And lastly, we have 43 foreclosure auctions. We had those in October, with 51 more scheduled so far in November. I'll just show you the calendar while we're talking about it. And so yeah, we're looking at basically, let me filter to tax auctions only. And we're down to 3 in November and the remaining ones in October. So we really are through the major auctions at this point. Not much left. But on the flip side, New Jersey has a lot of auctions popping up. I kind of been tracking, based on last year's results, we were predicting a big boost of auctions around October through December. And when I said that, we were a little disappointed there were only 10 announced for October. Looking at previous year, there should be 85. And so fast forward to right now, and there's 79 in October. So we almost hit last year's 85. November has 26 announced already. So New Jersey is hitting that stride in the fall that we've seen in previous years. So let's show you what those look like. The 79 auctions in October, we're down to the last here, Vernon today, and 4 tomorrow, and then 4 more the last couple days this week. Moving into November, the 26 auctions that are announced. Some of these have decent size to them, a few hundred properties here and there, and some of them have one parcel. Let's go look at the one parcel auction and see what that one parcel is. So there it is. It's a house, and we'll go to the details on that. So we're looking at a $22,000 opening bid, taxes due, $644,000 valuation on that property with a tax lien available. And the auction information is in the purchase option where I just clicked. We can click here to register or click here for the list. And we do have some extra links here on the right. We won't go through all that for this property. But in New Jersey, you can definitely take any of these auctions, or frankly, you can do this and just look at all of the auctions at once. That's a popular thing to do. In New Jersey, these auctions are tracked at the township level, which means there's going to be a lot of auctions, more than if they were at the county level. Let's throw our county borders on. So yeah, we're looking at 3,600 parcels on the map all at once, and they are scattered across these counties and townships. But you know, this is a good way to search, because now if you wanted to, you could actually look for improvements only, or change your taxes owed. If you only want to bid on things with over $1,000 owed, you could do something like that, and really just hone in on one of your strategies that way if you don't want to go through everything. So that's pretty much everything for New Jersey we'll talk about. Let's move on to Michigan. The deed auction season continues. We had 107 annual tax deed auctions in the books, and then the reoffer sales started, and the reoffers completed. So now we're down to the no reserve sales. There are 52 of those scheduled so far. I don't think they're going to add any more because they are happening in just a few days on November 1st. And so you're going to get more info on our Michigan tax investing video that we have. Pennsylvania, one of our newer states, we are tracking quite a bit. We tracked the annual season with upset sales to some degree, and now we're tracking some of these sheriff sales. I think we have 25 upcoming auctions for Pennsylvania, which is exciting. And we're still planning to add repository sales and over-the-counter deeds. We don't have those yet. And if you have any of those that you want to see in particular, send us some requests. So Pennsylvania's calendar, October is exhausted, so let's close it out. 10 auctions coming up in November, you can see. And then we have 4 more in December. And it looks like we're going to extend into 2025, January, February, all the way into March. So keep an eye out on Pennsylvania. You will see more auctions coming, and some repository sales as well. New Mexico has a bunch of auctions. A bunch of auctions already happened in October, and we have 4 coming up that we know of. They tend to release these with a few weeks' notice, so there could be more before the year's over. And let's see, we do have a video that will go in depth about New Mexico, but While we're here, I'll just show you the auction calendar. 2 more left in October, and then 2 scheduled for November. That's basically where things stand. California, another new state for us. We have our first auctions tracked. 3 of those are completed, including Los Angeles, which was a larger one. The next few auctions, we have El Dorado has 2 different types of sales. One is a tax sale, one is a timeshare sale. It looks like this is near Lake Tahoe, I believe. It's kind of the area, looks like a lot of ski timeshares, maybe, ski resort. So I'll be totally honest with you, I don't know how timeshare sales work, but they are on the map if you want to see them. There's also the tax sale if you want to filter. I'll show you how to do that. So in California, if you want to see both of those sales, you can see on either one of them, you can say map all the properties and it will put everything on the map. But if you want to see just like those timeshares, you can look at only list properties from that auction, and that shows you just those 51 properties. I'm going to put them in a list because I'm not sure that they had mapping data. Let's click one and just take a peek. Okay, so they did have mapping data. But basically, if you're looking at this, I would read very carefully, because you know you're buying a timeshare, you know that it's in a timeshare auction, so you probably want to look at, looks like you can bid on the parcel directly by clicking that, and whatever information you can glean off the advertisement. I'll be honest, I don't know what you're looking for in a timeshare. It's just not a niche we've covered. So we have an address for the property, a legal description. So yeah, there's information if you want to dig in. Again, that was on the bid on this parcel button on the purchase options screen. Purchase options is this green button. Bid on the parcel is right there. It took us to the page on bid for assets where you can just dig in deeper. If you're a timeshare shopper or you want to be, then that's how you would go down that path. If you wanted to see the other ones that are not timeshare, you could just click either map or list here. And then we have 2 other counties, Nevada and Calaveras, coming up. We think there's going to be more California auctions coming up for sure. We'll keep an eye out and we'll keep you posted on this channel. Washington is another new state for us. We've already tracked our first 20 auctions, and we have a bunch of those are upcoming still. We noticed a pattern that King County has sheriff sales basically all the time. So I grouped them into one line here: November 1st, 8th, 15th, 25th, and then December 2nd. That's 5 auctions for King. And then the rest of the counties in the list, you can see November 4th and 5th, and then moving into December after that. You just kind of have tax sales and sheriff sales mixed in there. And there should be more auctions coming this fall, just a note there. Let's go to Washington on our calendar and see, again, a lot of King County sales. But these sales, some of them have 87 properties, some of them have 2. So you have a little variety there of what you're looking for. So wow, that's a beautiful property on the coast, 183 acres. I don't know if it's buildable or what, but it's beautiful area in Washington. If you want to know more about this auction, you can click the green button under purchase options and follow the links to bid on the parcel or view the list for all the properties in this auction. Okay, let's look at Tennessee. Their auction season goes all year. There's only 2 really coming up right now. One's Stewart and one is City of Jackson, because Davidson County canceled again, so they will not have a November sale. There's also over-the-counter opportunities with the Shelby Land Bank. I think about 100 of those were added this month. Whoops, moving too fast. And so that's Tennessee for you. Texas, on the other hand, we have a lot coming up. So in October, just as a benchmark here, we started in June with Texas. I think we had like 7 auctions in June that we tracked. We were just mapping the counties out and getting settled in the state, since it's our new state this summer. And so we did 43 in October, which was a big jump. And actually we have 62 coming up in November, on November 5th. This is a variety. These are really tax deeds that you buy through judicial sales, sheriff sales. Sometimes they call it constable sales. But we're tracking over 120 counties now, which is great, but only 62 of them have auctions coming up. So that's why you see a discrepancy there. Not every county has properties every month. I will say I think I saw some of the December auctions have already shown up. Let's go see what's on the Texas auction calendar. So October, everything happened on the 1st, so it's behind us. So here are the 62 November auctions. Quite a few. The biggest one is Harris County with 119. Yeah, these are quite a few counties to shop from. I think, yeah, we have 4 counties in December have already started to announce their sales. So if you want to get ahead on December. But in the meantime, this is one of those states where it's important, it could be important for you to know if the auction's in person or online. So we have a filter for that at the top of the screen. So you can see the 15 November auctions that are online. And then you can see the 47 November auctions that are in person. So it's about 3-to-1 ratio of in-person auctions in Texas. We do have a video about Texas if you want to learn more about it. I recommend checking it out on this channel to learn about the rules. It's a very investor-friendly state, but there's a lot of hurdles, especially with the auctions happening all on the same day and most of them in person. Okay, Ohio sheriff sale auctions. It's a mixture of tax foreclosures and regular foreclosures. You get both of those in that auction format. We have 142 of those auctions in October and already 100 scheduled in November. This is a state where we put a lot of effort in this year to get 100% coverage on the map in every county, so you can shop the entire state now. The Ohio Sheriff Auction intro video is a good place to start if you want to see more about it, but I'm looking at October. There were the 142 auctions. There's probably a few left this week. Yeah, 9 of the auctions are on Halloween. Okay, so there's a chunk of auctions still happening this week, and then 100 in November that are scheduled. And you'll see some days have many auctions on a single day. Let's see how far out this calendar goes. We have December, January. Okay, so we're into January of 2025 already. So this is another calendar where you have plenty of runway to look ahead and plan your auction out. Moving on to North Carolina, it's also tax deeds and foreclosures mixed together that go through the entire year. 248 of those auctions we tracked in October, 94 are scheduled for November. We do have a deep dive intro on North Carolina, and it's important that you watch it because if you don't know North Carolina's laws, there are different types of properties you'll find on our site. You can look at properties that are not scheduled yet. We call those pending auction. You have the ones that are scheduled and have a date and a price, hopefully. Most counties have a price. Those are the scheduled auctions. And then you have upset bids, which are properties that already went through auction and had a bid, but you can still buy it. People won't like you if you do this, but it is in the law. You can go upset a bid and place a higher bid after the auction. Florida has a lot going on year-round. We have county over-the-held tax liens available, or county-held, I guess you'd say, tax liens available. Tens of thousands of those available. The tax deed auctions run year-round. There's 78 happen in October, 48 more coming in November, at least. Foreclosures are abundant. We have 339 scheduled in October and already 250 coming up in November. That's auctions. Some of those have multiple properties in them, so it's a lot to look at. And lastly, if that wasn't enough, you also have tax deeds available over the counter as well as tax liens. So basically anything you want to buy in Florida is available. Virginia has just a bunch of auctions coming up. I won't read the list to you, but I still have yet to find one of our customers, one of our users that invests in Virginia. So if you do that, maybe we should chat. I would love to hear how things are going for you there. We do have photo and video scouting services if you want to invest there, and you should check out our intro video if you are learning about it. Nevada, we just had the one auction that was on the calendar for the month, so it is moving into off-season now. We will keep an eye out in case any other auctions pop up. Alabama had some news. The Birmingham Land Bank reopened and is taking applications after several months of being offline. We have a video going into that in depth. Please watch that if you want to learn about the Birmingham Land Bank. It's another way to buy, kind of an over-the-counter format, except you're buying a property with clear title. Quiet title action is included in your process with the land bank. And that means there will not be the redemption that you'd have in a tax deed. So it can be appealing, but there is a downside. I'll let you watch the land bank video to learn all about that application process. We also have OTCs around the state from counties and the Department of Revenue, 2 types of OTCs, and we have resellers. We have resellers selling properties and tax deeds on day in, day out. So you should check out all that stuff on Parcel Fair. We have an Alabama off-season investing video on this channel that will guide you through that, all about the different ways to buy when there's not when we're not in the auction season. So it's a complicated calendar here with layers of what you can buy in Alabama. And we'll throw our red dot. We are here on the right side. We're moving deeper into the fall, into November. And so that means we're in the auction off season, but there are OTCs for purchase. And in the bottom band there, you see new inventories added year round by the resellers and the land banks. Arkansas, over-the-counter news. This is nice. We had, if you want to look at, I guess, to show some color on what's happening here, January through July, we only got 164 leftover tax deeds added, not very many. And then in August, things pick up, 361, 345 in September, and then to double that in October to get 693. So we're peaking out. Over 1,000 properties have been added. These are leftover tax deeds that cleared auction. So you're seeing a lot of additions in Arkansas. It's a great place to buy. I always brag on this one. They do a great job liquidating these leftover properties. So go check it out. We have videos on it, and you can use our website, of course, and go research those properties and buy them. Mississippi, and more exciting over-the-counter news. We're up to 65.95 OTCs available, tax deeds. And you can see there throughout the year, we actually, this chart looks funny to me. I think that blue bar is going off the screen is why. But October had 743 added, and again, it's being cut off. I need to fix this graph. But 361 were added in September, and then double that in October. So the short story is a lot of over-the-counter properties added in Mississippi recently. You can apply for those on their site, and you can research them on Parcel Fair. Louisiana auctions, sheriff sales, we have adjudicated sales, 18 upcoming. A lot of those are going to be pending auction, but there are 18 that are actually not pending, that they are scheduled. But if you see one pending, you can go place a deposit to start that auction. Read and understand those rules. We will get around to making a Louisiana video eventually that will go through the different types of sales, the tax lien sales, and explain more, and OTCs as well in the New Orleans area. So a lot of different ways to buy in Louisiana. Right now, really those adjudicated sales and the OTCs seem to be the big way to purchase. So anyways, we'll cover that in a video in the future. For now, this is what we have. Maryland, we are past the auction season. We do have over-the-counters. I think the season ended in September. So lots of over-the-counters still available, especially around the Baltimore area. And we do have photo video scouting services there. You can request it on the property report page on Parcel Fair. Arizona is in the over-the-counter season. 27,335 over-the-counter lien and deed properties that are available. Missouri, Iowa, Oklahoma, and Utah are just off-season. And we do periodically add OTCs. We have some in Oklahoma right now that maybe in Missouri might be it. But send us OTC requests. It helps if you tell us a county that actually has some and don't just ask for a county out of the blue. So we will go research it if you ask out of the blue, but if you happen to know those properties, it does save us time. And that's it. Everything for this week. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like it and subscribe to our channel. It helps us know that there's an audience out there that wants to see this content and there's interest in this, and we will continue to try to make videos every week. Watch out for tax news videos that come out every other week, and then we do market focus videos on the other weeks. So keep on the lookout for some new states as well as we close out the year, and I hope you have a great week.